I built this entire model from paper. Here's how I made working control surfaces, a detailed cockpit, and a custom nose cone. I designed this model myself. If you are interested in building this kit, there is a link in the description. I first need to coat the page in multiple thin layers of glue. This creates a thin layer that makes the paper shiny and creates smoother curves when folding. This step is essential. Start with the rear fuselage and paint the edges of each piece that is visible on the model. This is the cockpit bulkhead. Use a hobby knife to score the fold lines before folding. I create the cushions for the pilot's seat, but this step is optional. The 5-point harness is not included with the template, but I create a custom one from spare cardstock and paint it. I create some additional details for the cockpit from spare cardstock. I highly recommend this step. For the vertical stabilizer, I use some round shaping tools to put some curve in the leading edges. The exhaust stacks are made of 3 pieces. They are very small. I use a lot of glue and assembly to fill gaps and paint them afterwards. Use a round shaping tool to make the tires rounder. For the landing gear struts, I glue 3 layers of cardstock together and use super glue to increase stiffness. There is 2 small white rectangles on the fuselage where the landing gear should be glued on too. I insert some copper wire into the fuselage to glue on the tailwheel mount. I leave the cockpit windows empty, but you can use shrink wrap or thin clear plastic to fill in the windows. Remember to paint the inside of the frames. I leave the left side door open, but you have the option to have both doors closed. It is now time to build the wings. I created this contraption to support the model while the glue on the wings dries. I created movable elevators using some thin copper wire and some paper folded over it. Creating working hinges actually isn't that hard, and I recommend trying it on your builds. I think from now on I will incorporate moving hinges in all my models. I use a straight piece of wire to support the horizontal stabilizers internally. These are the flap and aileron hinges. There are small red markings under the wing where they are meant to be glued on. Paint the white backside of these hinges. I added some additional details to the hopper door. These can be replicated easily. I make the spray booms with 2 layers of cardstock. I move on to the final and hardest part of this project, the nose cone. I first tried making the nose cone from paper and fill the gaps and seams with super glue. I spent about an hour on this. This did not work at all and was the first of many failures. I then tried carving a spinner from wood. This worked well, except that I made the nose cone twice as big as it should have been. I still think carving a spinner from wood is a viable strategy with the proper measuring tool, but for now it is a failure. I attempt a wooden spinner once again, but it also came out too big. Another failure. I once again try to make a spinner from paper, this time being successful. I apply a thin layer of super glue to harden the surface, then sand it to remove seam lines. And now, the model is finished. If you are interested in building this model yourself, the template is linked in the description. I design everything from scratch, so I appreciate the support. That is all for now.